Welcome back to another entertainment technician panel meeting thing with Ali and Jemma and me and my dog.
What a
Anyway,
fantastic lineup.
Oh,
yes.
great.
Yes. Today's episode is Suss Out Stage Management. So we're going to talk about everything stage management, which is why I have Ali and Jemma here with me today. So I guess you guys can introduce yourselves.
Go Phil.
Hello, I am Ali Flores. I am a non-equity freelance stage manager, stage managing in my hometown of San Diego, California.
Hi everyone, I'm Gemma. I am from Perth, Western Australia, and I'm a freelance stage manager.
Yay! And I'm not. So
Ab.
I have ASM'd one production, so I think that maybe that counts. It was
That
SpongeBob, so like that definitely counts.
That counts.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
That counts.
It was the most tech heavy show I've ever done. Anyway, well, we'll start out. Why don't we just tell your little story, brief version of it, or long, whatever I guess you prefer. I do have the editing power, I guess, but brief or long.
You got the power.
Just tell your little story, Ali. If you want to go first, I guess you can do that.
Sure. So my theater journey started in high school. I was a junior, and I decided just randomly I wanted to try out theater. And I started as an actor, and I was working with community theaters for about 6 years. And then when I got to my senior year of college, I auditioned for my friend's show that they were directing. And I went through the callback process, but I didn't get cast. But I still wanted to help out in some way. So I was like, hey, like, is there anything I can do backstage for you? Like, I really want to be part of this show still. And they were like, I need an ASM. Can you do it? And I was like, yes, but I've never done it before. So, like, I don't know if you still want to hire me. And they said, yeah, that's totally fine. Just follow what the SM does. And I did, and it was so much fun. And one of the cast members from that show recognized how good of a job I did that they went and recommended me to another friend of ours who we had performed with over summer at a community theater. And that person was directing a Christmas show I had auditioned for but didn't get cast in. And I ended up being the stage manager for that show. And that little Christmas show I did launched my stage management career. Like, I left acting and I just started stage managing, and I stage managed at community theaters. I stage managed at a theme park for a little bit, and now I'm getting paid to stage manage at bigger theater companies. So that's
Hot stuff.
Yeah. I love it.
Mine's a little bit different. I so originally, like high school, I was year 8, so I don't know what that translates across to American speak, I think. But I was year 8, and I was like, I want to be involved in theatre, but I didn't want to be on stage because I was like, I can't sing or dance. Well, not much I can do considering like school had main priorities on like big musicals, and I'm like, I cannot do that. However, the way that we had structured things is the year 12s or the seniors were the ones that had the stage management role. But after they graduated in the middle of September, because that's just how Australian schools work, there was no one underneath them to like step up and carry that through. So there's just little like 13, 14-year-old me just going, I'm down. So from that point, my school was like, yep, let's just send it, have her in charge of everything. So I ended up doing like a small variety show at the end of 2016ish, and then it kind of just blossomed into me stage managing through the rest of high school. And so the next logical step was to go to WAPA, which is the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts, and do that for the next 3 years. And I've freshly finished that. So it's been a long journey. It's like been a hot minute since I started, and I've had the opportunity to do so many different shows, both within educational spaces and outside of it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the short version.
I think year 8 is we just call it 8th grade. At least that's what I call it, right?
Yeah.
Eighth grade.
That was middle school for me. So
that's a stunning American accent, Gemma.
Let
me just grab my school bag, you know. Well, I suppose.
Whenever I'm trying to vaguely mock you, I will slip into an American accent purely to just let you listen to how odd you sound.
See, I have a Midwestern accent, which is American, but it's got like a lot of the A sounds like really over exaggerated, you know.
Well, you betcha.
Oh yeah, you betcha. Which Allie would know because Allie apparently has had family, you know, in Wisconsin as well.
Yep.
So,
I do not.
what, you have no relation to Green Bay, Wisconsin? That's just crazy. What?
Well, I mean, there's you.
Oh, that's true. All right. Anyway, similar kind of question. Cat underscore Owens underscore on Instagram asks, why did you choose tech theater? I'm gonna switch it up a bit. We're just gonna talk about why did you choose stage management? Like, I guess you kind of answered that, but like, what was like that like aha moment, I guess, for you or whatever?
I think it was an opportunity. Like, let's be real. I was a little bossy in like high school. I just wanted to be in charge. I wanted everything to be in a certain way. And guess
Yes.
what? Like, especially in high school, stage management fell straight into that box. Like, it was like I just wanted to lead and just to be around and to be just in charge of a few people. And so like that's where it started. But it can't, my leadership style has definitely evolved through that. But when it started, I just the main base that I was told about stage management is that you got to tell people what to do, and I was like, great, I can do that.
I love it.
So that's where it started, and but then it evolved into me being able to organize my brain in just having 16 different things going on at once, and me just being able to jump between them and just being able to go, cool, I've worked on this for a little bit, great, cool, I'll delegate that off to someone else, great, cool, you keep going, I can like swap and just shift my brain elsewhere, because it means that I didn't have to focus on one thing for ages, and I just got to multitask and do all that sort of stuff while still being able to like lead and being able to like my people skills. I love people. I think people are great. I like talking, in case you haven't figured that one out. Um, but being able to talk to different types of people, being able to communicate with the crew, and just being that center of communication, and just being able to go, cool, I heard this from this person, cool, this is what information you need, and just being able to just rapid fire and be the center of a lot of different things, and just being able to multitask on that front, because I think that's really cool and I like it.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off some things that Gemma touched on. I like being in the know of what is going on. And I feel like as an actor, I didn't really get that because I only had to worry about like what was going on with the cast. But I'm very nosy. I wanted to know what was going on with the lights, what's the backstage situation. So, and as a stage manager, you get to do that. And also as an actor, I felt like I didn't necessarily fit that mold, and I was just doing it because I didn't really know what else I could do in theater until I found that Christmas show and that director of the Christmas show who made stage management so much fun for me and just like opened up this world of possibilities. And I just ran with it.
Networking.
Exactly.
Networking. It's
And
the best
also,
thing.
now that I'm a stage manager, I get asked by so many people to come and work on shows. Like when I was an actor, nobody would say, "Hey, Ali, come be in this show." I'd be like, "Hey," they'd be like, "Hey, come audition," but I'd never like guarantee that I'll be involved in a show. So I also like being in control of things. Not in like a power hungry way, but I don't know.
In a slightly
I'm
just,
just
you just want all the pencils to be nicely aligned. You
Exactly.
just want
I'm
to
just
make sure.
imagining you. There's just flames in the background, and then Allie's just like, I want the power.
I mean, I don't necessarily want all the power, but like I'd like some of the power, please. In like the most polite way possible.
Yes. I'll do that.
I
I'll
would
do
like
that.
a smidgen of the power, please, and thank
Mitch,
you.
please, if not, no worries. Totally understand. That's fine.
Yes. I totally
Which
relate.
also makes just the absolute, just like, I just want a little bit, but if you don't want to give it away, that's completely fine. I'm just here.
Exactly, exactly.
I love it. People pleaser. I feel that 100%. I also totally relate to the whole like nobody wants you when you're an actor half the time, but when you're a technician or a stage manager, it's like, hey, we really need you.
Or
We've
just
already
like
assumed you said yes, so.
just like the networking aspect of it, you end up working one show and then you get another gig out of it through another person. And like
Mhm.
half the shows that I've gotten in Perth are through one show that kind of just like it just ended up just spreading. And it was like, Gemma knows what they're doing. Great, cool. Here, I'm gonna borrow you real quick. And so like getting hired out by different people just because of that one initial show. And they're just like, cool, you're a cool SM, great, cool, work on this thing with us. And that's how I got my most recent show that I'm doing in end of Jan Feb. Um, End of Jan Feb. It's called. You're gonna love this. Pseudo archaeologists believe that Vikings made it to Australia. That's the full title.
Oh my
It
God.
is a mouthful, and I cannot fit it on any documents that I'm trying to make. So it's just being shortened to pseudo. That's what I have on all my documents because even the acronym, I'm just like, there are just too many words in that acronym.
That is crazy.
It sounds exciting though.
Oh, it's a wild show, and I cannot wait for it just to be released upon the people. It's gonna be great.
Yes. I love that. I love that. All right. Well, we'll transition now to another topic question or whatever. I guess we'll talk about a memorable show or experience. Just choose one. You don't get to no only one. Just one. Sorry. It doesn't have to
Memorable
be your favorite.
experience.
It can be your least favorite even if you want. Just a memorable show. That's good.
Oh, um, this show won an award recently, and they deserve all the shout outs physically possible. I love this show just because it was pure chaos, and it got added in like last minute. But it was the complete show of water skiing, and we did an entire show based around water skiing with not a single drop of water in sight. I just need to put that idea in your brain. It was fantastic. Like, it was about this group of girls who found a water skiing book in her recently deceased grandfather's books, and to honor his memory, they decided to take up water skiing. So we're talking like skateboards and skis in the background, in the backyard. One of the girls had a mister just spraying the front row of the audience, like pure chaos. And then the final moment in this show is them competing in a water skiing thing. So they did a full water skiing routine on dry land. It was phenomenal.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
And it was just such a chaos, but such just a great show to be a part of. And it was just amazing.
So I have, if you could not see my reaction while Maria was asking this question, I have a ton of memorable shows.
Really? You having a ton of memorable shows? What? Shocked.
But I'm gonna pick the one that was like the most ambitious and most outlandish. And that was The Ferryman by Jez Butterworth. It is a 3.5 hour play with 2 intermissions where they use live geese, live bunny rabbits, a live baby, and real food has to be cooked on stage and off stage for the cast. So I was in charge of holding the geese and holding the baby.
Which one was more
And
important?
the geese.
The geese.
The baby was so chill. Never was fussy, except for one time before they had to go out on stage because their stomach was hurting a little. But no, it was definitely the geese because we had 2 of them and they each had separation anxiety. So whenever we would separate them, you could hear them calling out to each other in the building. Um, so, and they also went to the bathroom quite a bit and it left a very pungent smell. So, it was still a really fun show. Like the team was great, the cast and crew were phenomenal. But how many stage managers get to say they've worked with live animals and a live baby.
I better see Geese Wrangler on your resume. If it's not on there,
I
I'm
think
very
we don't have geese.
I think I put like experience working with live animals,
okay.
but I should put in parentheses geese and bunny rabbits.
You know, I think the plural of geese should be geese instead, so you can always just be like, "What's up, you guys? What's up, you guys?" Every time.
No, my favorite thing is that it's a gaggle of geese. I think that's the best thing. Like, who decided that it was going to be a gaggle? Like, I'm here for it. I love it. But what was up with that?
They do kind of make a gaggling noise when they honk at you, kind of.
I haven't had a goose honk at me.
Oh, you have not lived.
Would you like to hear a goose honking at you? I have a video. I can find a video.
Oh, I get chased by geese all the time when I go out for like 6 mile walks or runs every once in a while, and every time without fail, there's like a whole crowd of geese that are like honk. Like, let me just torture myself on this run. I don't need you guys.
So you guys have geese. We have magpies. Magpies aren't nearly as bad. Like, they're small-ish birds, but during the spring, they swoop at you. So if you are going under any tree at any point during the spring, you're just going to get a magpie swoop in. It will go very close to your head and will just whoosh. And it is one of the most terrifying things that you've ever felt, because occasionally you'll see them off in the distance and you'll just avoid that tree. You just avoid the tree. Sometimes you don't see them in the tree and you just get, and like, when you're riding a bike, it is very common in Australia just to have like zip ties attached to your helmet, just so it's like pointy. You still get swooped, but you feel a little bit more protected.
It's like that one episode of Bluey when they walk past the magpie.
Believe it or not, Bluey is based in Australia, so yes. So yeah, no, it's a very common occurrence just to be absolutely terrified of magpies, but they are a beautiful bird. I do love them. They're very pretty. But it's scary sometimes. So you have geese, we have magpies. I don't know why I said I think.
I love feeding the geese. You give them little corn, little dried up pieces of corn. It's amazing.
There will be people that feed the magpies and like will give them meat, because magpies eat meat. So there is usually just one older citizen on every block or so that will just adore the magpies and just feed them. So they will have, I don't know what is a group of magpies called? Hold on, I need to put it.
A murder of magpies.
A mischief of magpies.
A mischief of magpies.
Adore that.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
So there will just occasionally be one older citizen that just decides that magpies are just their retirement like plan. Like, they will just feed the magpies. And you'll know exactly what houses it is, because there will be like 4 or 5 out on the lawn without fail. It's slightly terrifying to walk past, but you're like, great, cool, that's the magpie house. Cool. Just walk straight past it.
I love it. Thank you for joining us on our magpie story time. Our gaggle and mischief story time. Back to our regularly scheduled content here.
I think just a mischief of stage managers is just
a mischief of stage managers.
I think that's a good one.
I think that's a good collective name. So the three of us are just known as the mischiefs.
Yes. I love it.
Anyway, sorry, continue on.
I have a funny stage management experience in a sense. I was gonna actually get my BFA in stage management. Crazy. I don't know. Do you guys don't have BFAs? Are they called BFAs there?
I have my BPA, and we just have a
Okay.
Bachelor of Performing Arts in brackets stage management. That's just how our degree is titled.
Fine. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So I
Wait, I'm
was
gonna make sure that's actually right.
Yeah, so we have a BFA. There's like one college I applied to that had like a BFA in stage management. And the only reason I applied for this BFA program is because one of my exes was going for stage management and I said, "Oh, well, I have to be better." And so I applied. I didn't have any stage management experience, not really any interest in being a stage manager either, really. I was more like the director, technician kind of path. So what did I put in my portfolio for this? I made up a stage manager portfolio. On there, I said, I have tons of stage management shadowing experience. I did not, but I put that on the first page. And then I casted the entire cast of Beauty and the Beast in a production of Les Mis. And I blocked the show and I made rehearsal reports for the show and I made a cast list. And it was like a 10-page portfolio of this made up show. And that's my stage management experience, I guess. Yeah.
I'm very impressed. I love that.
Yeah. And I got a full like I didn't get a full scholarship. I got a scholarship for that college and I got accepted into the program, but I didn't go. So the things that'll
It's
do.
now a great story to tell.
It
Now just the
is.
top of the stories.
It is. I also ASM SpongeBob, but that doesn't matter.
I
I
just
like
checked.
that. I like yes.
According to my phone, the official name of the thing that I have is the Bachelor of Performing Arts, and then in brackets, stage and production major, stage and production management major. There you go. Hooray.
Yay. She finally knows what a degree is called a week after graduating. 2 weeks? When did you graduate?
I have no idea. Because technically I don't graduate until after I've done my secondment, but that's another session to talk about that.
Talk about that some other time. All right. Okay. So this is another random question from someone from Instagram. At L Laney Henry with 2 Y's on Instagram says, "What is your lingo for projection cues in my region, NYC? We typically use vid." I don't know. Have you guys worked with projections and done cues for them?
Yes, I have for Cats. That Cats was a show. It was great. I loved it, but I'm glad that I did it. Stop laughing. I'm sorry.
I think a lot of people say that about cats in general, but
No, but like I'm just no, I was laughing because I'm just trying to imagine a production of Cats. Well, no, I guess they use projections.
I was
Okay,
trying to
never
think
mind.
about that too.
Okay, so there was I'll send you some photos and hopefully you can just put up photos as I'm explaining
Yes, I'll do that.
So our production of Cats, they weren't actually cats, they were people. I know, it's a wild
Most
concept to wrap your
productions
head
of
around.
cats are people, unless if it's
No,
that
but they weren't dressed up as cats. They're like
Oh.
mostly in theater blacks with like the main cats having like another costume on top. Again, with photos hopefully should be around. But during the naming of Cats and Magical Mr. Mistopheles, the lyrics were projected up on the screen. I know, kind of cool. Naming of Cats was a wild, wild experience. But what ended up happening is that our orchestra manager was so the way that this projector decided to work is that the cable there wasn't a long enough cable to connect from the projector up into the box. So we had our orchestra manager in the pit operating Vision. So I would just call them Vision cues. And I would just say, Vision 11, go. And I just let Mercedes, our orchestra managers, just go through it because it was going to, like, during Magical Mr. Mistopheles, it was going around too often and I wouldn't be able to get my words out in time. So I just let Mercedes just press the button. But during Name of Cats, I would be like Vision 10, Vision 11, Vision 12, like, and saying go through that just to make sure all the, like, it changed in time because it would be each of the stanzas and just making sure the stanzas changed in time. We also had, during Peaks and the Pollicles, we had like a backlit screen. So it was like a shadow play sort of set. Very cool. Again, I hope there's photos just to prove that I'm not crazy.
Well, I don't know if the photos will do that, but
Lucky me.
we'll need more than photos to prove that.
I have
No,
never
cats was
had
great.
I've never had to call a show that has used projections yet. I'm sure I will coming up in the near future. But I assume I would just call them vid or like PROJ or something like that. But projectors
Yeah.
are the bane of my existence. So
Mhm.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the way that I would so it was they were called vision cues, but I abbreviate them as VIS on my prompt copy.
Okay.
I can also provide. Wait, do I have a photo of it? I might have a photo of the prompt copy.
ooh,
Nice. You guys want to know what we call the video people in my area, at least? And some of the US,
What?
we call them vidiots. Yeah. That might be a universal thing. If it is, then that's fantastic, and at least we're on the same page here. But yeah.
this is the
As
first
far as
time.
I know, it's just you guys.
No, I know there are other unions at least that are locals that do. So it's not just Green Bay at the very least. If it is, then it is. I don't
It
know.
I've never heard of that out in California. So
Okay. Somebody help prove that I'm not crazy. Well, that I can't have somebody prove, but all right. Let me see. What else do I have on here? All right, I think well, this will be our last question. Dream show and why? It could just be one of them. I know we all have like 20 million of them, just one.
Oh,
can I do
this
top two?
is always a okay. Go do top two
I
while I'm
guess
still
we have
thinking.
to. Yay! Okay. So yes, as Maria said, we all have a bunch. The list could go on and on and on. My top two currently right now that I really want to stage manage are Come From Away and Natasha Pierre and The Great Comet of 1812.
Nice.
Non-theatrical, I would love to stage manage for this lady.
Yes.
We recently had a tour of Come From Away come through, and it was amazing. Like it was so good. And like I love the SM team that worked on it. They're absolutely amazing. Cecilia, who was the stage manager, is on TikTok, and I love her so much. She's a fantastic human being, and yeah, she was amazing, and she let me come backstage and just be a part of that for a while. So that was like I just got to watch everything go down. I got to like explore the set a little bit, meet some of the actors, like the crew. It was just a 90-minute just it was one of the best shows that I've been backstage for. And like, I have a nice little niche spot for my 90-minute shows with no interval. Like, they're genuinely some of my favorite things just because, like, it just flows so nicely. It's just one neat little package. And I think they're fantastic. And yeah, Come From Away is fantastic. And Australia probably won't do another tour of it for another 10, 15 years. So who knows? By the time I'm older, I can do that.
Or you just come to the US and work the touring production here. I think it's gone non-equity at the moment, from what I'm aware of, and from people I know. But I saw the show way back when it was first on tour, and then I think I want to say I worked in and out for it right before it became a non-equity tour last year. Fun show to work too. It's a really fun show.
I'm sure it's so much fun. It's chaos, and yeah. I think one of the other shows that's coming to Australia very shortly is Beetlejuice, and I want to work on that show so badly. It's it's I'm I
It is.
really hope that I do get to be a part of it somehow because I will like I'm seeing if I can try and move over east just for some experience and whatnot. See if I can like because it's 2025. Logistically, I could. You never know what's going to happen this year. Even if I end up being on it as just like a month thing, I can still say that I worked on it. So that would just be sick because the amount of just like technical stuff that's involved with it, I'm just like that would be awesome. I know. I'm just trying to think of the other shows that I know are coming. We've got Dear Evan, another Dear Evan Hansen coming out shortly. There's like a new revised version of it. We've got Groundhog Day coming out because to mention, obviously, an Australian icon. Also, on the Beetlejuice thing, Eddie Perfect came to watch Cats, and I have a photo of the back of his head because he was sitting up the back, and I could see him from the box. So I slightly creepily took a video of the back of his head. Eddie, if you're watching this, think you're fab.
First of all,
Beetlejuice.
thank you for watching this. Second of all, yes.
Second of all, if you need an SM for Beetlejuice, and I know that you've got many talented friends, if they are, for whatever reason, not available, give it here.
It's an amazing show. There's so much to it, though. So much.
Yeah.
It's so much fun, though.
And then probably the other show that I'd want to work on is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. So that recently closed in Melbourne, but I got the opportunity to see it last year, and I was just obsessed. Like I love my Harry Potter; it's fantastic, but just being able to work on that show would be phenomenal. And then since it closed, there have been so many rumors flying around that it's going to do like a whatever, and it's going to come back in whatever capacity. And well, yes, sure enough, yes, please. Yeah, no, I'd love to work on that show so much, just because unless it's a Star Wars musical that just decides to just get me on that, please.
Didn't Star Kid make a Star Wars musical?
Yes, they did. It's a bit of a fever dream, but
I didn't watch that one, but I've seen a lot of Star Kid stuff.
Love Star Kid. It's fantastic. I haven't been able to watch all of them. I was definitely interested in the Star Wars one, but I was like, I don't know whether this is like my sort of vibe or whatnot. And that's completely fine. We're allowed to have differing opinions on theatre. Welcome to theatre.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely Harry Potter Cursed Child is up there because it's just so many cool things flying around, and like me and one of my best friends who was my like lighting person during high school, we were like, she'd seen it before, I hadn't. So I'm just sitting there going, this is how they do this, this is how they do this, this is how they do this. I'm 95% sure that this is how they're doing this. And I was just sitting there, just like my brain just ticking and exploding at just all the possibilities. And I was like losing my mind. If you haven't had the opportunity to go see that show, it's still going in London. Go watch it. It's amazing.
It's still on Broadway.
I don't know about
maybe. Yeah,
okay.
still.
Okay, but it's still on Broadway. Go watch it. It's amazing. But it has the title of I'm pretty sure the longest running show that like stayed in one theater, because we don't have many like bigger theaters that can just have one show in it. But it was at Princess for 5 years, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna have to double check that, obviously, but like it was there for 5 years, and for Australian theatre, it's pretty much unheard of because there's more shows than there are theatres more often than not. So they're like, you've got a constantly rotating like shows through most of them. But the fact that Harry Potter was just able to stay open in Princess for 5 years and being sold out more often than it's not is just insane.
I want to see that
for Oz theatre.
I think it's touring the US either next year or the year after, from what I've seen. I forgot what year it was, but
I think this tour.
I'll just come visit. Just come visit.
Yes, just come to the US. Well, you can come between both of our houses that are right next door to each other in the US. It's only like a 2-3 day drive between us.
Darling, have you seen the size of WA? A 2-3 day drive doesn't faze me.
Right? Yeah, you're right next door to Sydney, right? Aren't you?
If Sydney was a 5-day trip, 6-day trip, then yes.
Just like Ali is right next door to New York City, you know?
Exactly.
So close.
Right next door.
So close.
And I'm just in the middle of a cornfield somewhere. That's all I am.
Nice.
But anyway.
Stressful moment. Ali, you want to go first?
Stressful moment.
Sure. I will not say which show this was, just to protect the privacy of the people who were involved, because it involves medical emergency. Opening night for one of my shows. It was in an outdoor space in the middle of July in California. So,
That means hot, right?
yeah, like,
Because July here is winter.
yeah.
Just making sure I had
So
my
yeah,
coat.
yeah. Summer, the hottest temperature, unbearable temperature you can think of. We are all performing on stage. I'm watching in the wings, making sure everyone's okay. I see movement in the audience, and I'm thinking, oh my God, who is getting up in the middle of Act One and like leaving the theater? Like, how dare you? And then I see my director from across run backstage. So I go to meet them in the middle. We almost slam into each other backstage and they're like, "Ali, we need to stop the show after the song." And I'm like, What? Like, okay." And then I run past, and then the song ends, and then we stop. Someone in the audience collapsed and had like heat stroke thing, and we had to call a medical emergency. So ambulance came, took the audience member away. We had to stop the show for about 30 minutes. And then we continued on with the show. So
Whoa.
everyone was very supportive though, like everyone in the audience and like the cast and crew, like everyone was just helping each other, which was great. But that was the first time I ever had to stop a show, and it was very scary and stressful. But now I know what to do in those situations.
Snap. The fact that Maria and I just sitting here going encapsulates how both of us are feeling right now. I have a video to go along with my one because I love talking about it just because it was stressful in the moment, but in like just watching it back, you're like, whoa. So we were doing pajama game like middle to end of last year with Whopper. This is during a student matinee, so the entire audience is just other Whopper kids, which is great because it means that you've got the most supportive audience that you've ever seen in your entire life. So between Act 1 and Act 2, there's like just before Steam Heat, because Steam Heat opens up Act 2. So in our production, we had a shimmer curtain that was it was a shimmer curtain raised up just to be the backdrop of Steam Heat. Good fun. I had to walk on with the shimmer curtain, place it down, grab the rope from the two ASMs who were up in the balconies. Again, hopefully the video will show the balcony bit, and then attach it, and then the ASMs hoisted the shimmer curtain up. In theory, very simple. And also, I must note, the student matinee, second last show that we had to do. Hoist it up, bang. One of the things falls off, and the shimmer curtain just whoosh, straight into like the side of the audience. Thankfully, it doesn't hit anyone because I was so scared. But in the video, which hopefully will play, you can just hear the entire audience go, whoa, and then it just falls and it's like, whoa! Audibly hear everybody just taking it in. You see me on stage. I give the biggest, I apologize so much. I give the biggest death glare to one of the ASMs who's up there because I think that she's dropped the rope. That's what I thought happened. That's why it swung. But she's up there still holding the rope and very confused. So I'm just like, okay, if you haven't dropped it, what just happened? Turns out the knot at the other end had come undone. So the camera cuts to just me on stage trying to tie a knot, having the entire theatre just going, Jemma, 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 because they're all my friends. So they were chanting as I'm trying to tie knots. And my hands were sweaty at this point because I've got an entire theatre chanting my name while I'm trying to tie knots. So obviously I'm like stressing a little bit because like this rope had just like fully like untied itself and fallen out of the thing. So I'm just like having to try and push frayed rope into a small hole and just like get it through tie a knot. And in a short amount of time, it was not great. But I hope that everybody enjoys that clip because I'm just standing on stage so confused.
But what a great show to have all your friends at.
No, that's what we were all saying. We were just like, so during that show, so many other things went wrong, and we're like, we could not have had a more supportive audience through all of this because, and don't tell anybody I said this, the soundy said the M word before we started, going, "Oh, it won't happen, it won't do anything," and I'm sitting there going, "What do you mean? Run, run, do laps." And they're just like, "Nah, she'll be right," and I'm just like, "Okay, you're not doing the laps. This is on you." And then it happened. I was like, "Hi." But like the fact that it was just the most chaotic interval I've ever been a part of, and it was just like so tightly organized backstage that we held into like it was just like, okay, the tables need to come off, we need to get the shimmer curtain on. There were just like so many moving parts backstage, and there backstage isn't large. Like it's just a corridor. It's just a single corridor that we had to fit tables, chairs, all these things, plus the shimmer curtain. It was just chaos. So the fact that we had to just hold interval because out of all the things, the shimmer curtain decided to break. Fantastic.
Never enough room backstage for anything ever.
No.
Reminds me of
Okay, that's me done.
Oh, I love it. I did a student show once. I think it was just like a dress rehearsal, so it wasn't really a student show, but it was a student show. I actually wasn't doing tech for this. I was acting in this production. It was a production of As You Like It. I was playing Orlando. This was, I think, my first semester of college. And there was a scene where I was running out into the audience as my exit because it was like at a thrust theater. And the second I'm like running up the aisle and then running behind the audience because that's just kind of how it works. And I just face planted and I like dove like face first down a staircase. But like it's like it was like in the round, so there were people like sitting on like other sides of it who could just like see me running, and then all of a sudden you just see me just in the background just flop. Anyway, I just thought of that because you were talking about being in front of people. I was worried I had to go to the hospital, but we're fine now. I went trapezing 2 weeks later, so we were fine.
Oh my God.
Girl, is any of your life just like normal, or do you need to go complete these side quests just because?
I do. I don't know. I'm losing my mind.
Nothing could have prepared me for your sentence of 2 weeks later I went trapezing. Girl, what?
I went to the aquarium too that day. Saw a sea turtle.
Oh my God.
And Legoland, same day.
You had a busy day.
Well, we went to the Mall of America afterwards, so that's it was in Minnesota. So anyway, that's my theater story.
I love it.
Stressful. It was more painful than anything, I guess. Probably stressful for the stage manager. Actually, the stage manager for that show in the accident report area, she just put accidents, illness, injury. She just put Maria. I mean, nothing else. And that was the only accident report filled out all year at my school for the theater building. So that was my favorite rehearsal report I've ever seen. Just Maria.
Oh, I've got to show you. I've got to get permission to show like some of the because when we did Tattoo, some of the show reports from that show. Oh, I was like, I will ask the stage manager whether I can share them because I have them. And I will ask if I can show them just because some of the stuff that was put in the thing, I was like cackling over, and they will forever be my favorite set of like show reports just because of how chaotic it is. And you just like, I was calling that show, so I had perfect view of everything. And then I just had to, the amount of stuff that I just had to relay to the stage manager going, this person did this. And then Steph's like, what? What do you mean? Because like, we have like these tiny ass monitors that you can't really see too much on. They still work, which is great, but they're still tiny, so you can't really make out too much detail. So I was just relaying everything that was happening. It was great.
Oh my gosh. Crazy. We'll include those if we have permission, but otherwise, I think that's everything. That's everything. We're perfect. Great. Well, my dog has said the time is up. She jumped out of my lap. I'm kind of offended. And I guess Jemma has a day to get to. Ali has Ali things to get to, and Maria has to go to her sister's band concert. So we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you for watching this exciting stage management episode with Jemma and Ali. And watch the other episodes, please. Thank you. Have a great day. Hasta la pasta,
Bye,
everyone. Right, stay spicy, y'all. I've been half focused on my dog for the last like 5 minutes. Anyway, I feel like one of those like evil people in a chair, just like petting my dog. You can't even see it. Just like petting my dog the entire time. It's amazing.